Imagine two monks walking down a road. They look innocent, but inside their wooden walking sticks, they are hiding a huge secret. Is it gold? No, it is worms. These two monks are about to steal a secret worth millions of dollars. To understand this crazy story, we need to go back a long time. China had a special secret. China knew how to make a beautiful cloth called silk. Silk was amazing. It was soft, it was shiny, it was very expensive. Everyone looked at China and said, "Wow! That cloth looks super cool." But where did silk come from? Did it grow on trees? Did it come from magic? No. The truth was a bit strange. Silk came from tiny, ugly worms. These worms ate leaves and made a cocoon. China knew this was $1 million idea. So China made a rule. China said, nobody can take the worms outside the country. If a person tried to tell the secret, China was very angry. China punished that person severely. Usually the punishment was death. So for a long time the world bought silk, but nobody knew the secret recipe. The world was very jealous, and China was very rich. China was happy being rich, but China wanted to be even richer. Also, the emperor of China, a man named Wu, was a bit lonely. He had enemies in the north who were very mean. Emperor Wu thought, I need some tough friends to help me fight. So he sent a man named Jiang Chen to the west. Jiang Chen traveled for a long time. He did not find many soldiers to help the emperor. But he found something else. He found people who loved Chinese things. He found markets. Jiang Chen went back to Emperor Wu and said, I have bad news and good news. The bad news is no friends. The good news is these people have money. Emperor Wu liked money. So the trade began. This was the start of the Silk Road. Now you might think the Silk Road was a nice, easy highway. Maybe it had restaurants and bathrooms? No, it was a nightmare. The road went through super hot deserts. It went over giant mountains. It was full of dangerous bandits who wanted to steal everything. Merchants could not use horses because horses need a lot of water. So they used camels. Camels are grumpy, they smell bad, and they spit. But camels are strong. So brave merchants loaded their camels with silk and started walking. They walked for months. They were tired and thirsty. But they kept going because they wanted to be rich. The silk traveled from one merchant to another. Finally, it arrived in a place called Rome. Rome was a very strong empire. Rome usually liked iron swords and heavy armor. But when Rome saw silk, everything changed. Rome touched the soft cloth and said, "Oh my goodness, this is amazing." Rome fell completely in love. Suddenly, every rich person in Rome needed a silk toga. They did not want uncomfortable wool anymore. They wanted the soft stuff from China. Rome started spending all its gold. The government in Rome became worried. They looked at the bank account and said, "Guys, stop. We're sending all our money to China. We're going to be broke." Did the rich Romans listen? No. They bought more. In fact, they loved silk so much that they wore it all the time. But there was a small problem. Silk is very thin. Sometimes it is see-through. This meant that rich, powerful Roman men were walking around the city, and everyone could see their bodies through their clothes. It was a grand fashion show of naked Romans. The old-fashioned people in Rome were shocked. They said, "Put some clothes on." But the rich people just said, "Don't be jealous. I look fabulous." But here is the funniest part. Rome bought tons of silk, but they still did not know what it was. Remember, China kept the secret about the worms. Rome tried to guess. They thought, "This cloth is so soft. It must grow on trees like a flower." Yes, really. The smartest people in Rome wrote books saying, "Silk is a soft wool that we take from trees." Rome could build huge colosseums and conquer the world. But Rome was not very smart at biology. China heard this and probably laughed very hard. China was happy to let Rome be wrong as long as Rome kept paying with gold. Eventually, the West got tired of guessing. They wanted the truth. A powerful emperor in the West said, "I am tired of paying China. I want to make my own silk." So he hired 2 monks. These monks were basically ancient secret agents. They traveled all the way to China. They acted very nice and quiet. China looked at them and thought, "Oh, look at these sweet old men. They are harmless." This was a huge mistake. The monks found the secret silk farms. They watched carefully. Then, when nobody was looking, they grabbed some silkworm eggs. But where could they hide them? If the guards found the eggs, the monks would lose their heads. Literally. The monks had long wooden walking sticks made of bamboo. Bamboo is hollow inside. It is like a tube. So the monks hid the eggs inside the sticks. Then came the most nervous moment of their lives. They walked to the border. The Chinese guards stopped them. The guards checked their bags. The guards checked their clothes. The monks stood there, holding their sticks. They were probably sweating a lot. The guard looked at them and asked, "Do you have any worms?" The monks smiled nervously and said, "No, just us and our sticks." The guard paused. The tension was high. Finally, the guard said, "Okay, you can go." The monks walked away. They held the sticks very carefully. Inside those sticks was the secret worth millions of gold coins. They had done the impossible. The monks traveled all the way back to the west. They opened their bamboo sticks, and out came the eggs. The secret was finally out. The West started growing their own worms and making their own silk. China was not the only seller anymore. China probably looked at its bank account and felt very sad. The Silk Road changed the world. It connected the East and the West for over 1,000 years. It brought new foods, new inventions, and new ideas to everyone. But eventually the Silk Road died. Why? Because walking across a desert is terrible. People realized that boats were much easier. Boats could carry more stuff, and boats do not spit at you like camels do. So traders stopped walking and started sailing. The famous dusty road became quiet. But thanks to 2 sneaky monks and their hollow sticks, we can all wear soft silk today.